This is CPM Precalculus, Chapter 2, number 87. So let f of x be our function defined as x squared. So part A, we're asked to find x sub 0, x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, and x sub 4. Okay. If the interval 2 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 5 is divided into 4 equal pieces. Alright, so we just want to give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different basically x's, right, for this interval when it's divided into 4 pieces. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this. Okay, so this is my number line. I have 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And I'm starting with 2 to 5, so I'm going from 2 all the way to 5. And this interval I'm dividing into 4 equal pieces, right? So let's go ahead and divide that. Okay, so it's going to be divided like starting here to here. It's going to, like, right now, if I do this, it's 3 pieces, right? So I need to divide it into 4 equal pieces, so they're all going to have to be something more like this, right? So then x sub 0 is here, x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, and x sub 4 is there, right? These are my five I guess endpoints, right? And these are the 4 pieces that create them. Okay? So that leads me to know that, well, x sub 0, the first one is always going to be the first part of my interval, which is 2. And x sub 4 here is the last part, which is 5. Okay, so how do I know x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, right? Well, basically I'm going to look at the whole and divide it by how many pieces I want. So the size of each piece is equal to the whole divided by the number of pieces. Okay, so the whole part, well, what is the distance from 2 to 5, right? Well, I can just subtract 5 minus 2, and that's going to tell me. 5 minus 2, well, this is 3 units, right? 2 to 5. 2 to 3 makes 1, 3 to 4, 2, 4 to 5 is 3. Okay, so I know 5 minus 2 is 3, right? 3 over something. So how many pieces? And I want it into 4 equal pieces. So divided by 4, divided by 4, right? So that means the length of each one of these regions here is going to be, instead of going to 3, it's just going to be going to 2.2 and 3/4. Okay, and what is 3 divided by 4 is 0.75, right? So that tells me that I'm going to start at x sub 0 is equal to 2. I'm going to add 0.75 to get x sub 1 is equal to 2 plus 0.75 is 2.75. X sub 2 is equal to this term plus 0.75. So that's 2.75 plus 0.75. What are those equal? Well, I can just do the math here, right? 3.5, right? That's x sub 2. X sub 3 is equal to 3.5 plus 0.75, right? I'm adding 0.75 each time to the one before it. So that's equal to 5 plus 7 is 12, 4.25, right? And x sub 4, I'm adding it again, and that's equal to 5, right? So here are my x sub 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the values are 2, 2.75, 3.50, 4.25, and 5.0. Okay? So that is part A. Part B says find f of x sub 2 and f of x sub 4. Well, what is f of x sub 2? Well, what is x sub 2? Let's just replace x sub 2 with what it is. Over here we know x sub 2 is 3.50, right? So what do? Well, then we need to plug it into our function, And wherever we see x, we're just going to square it. So that's, the input is 3.5, so it's going to be, instead of x, 3.5, and instead of x squared, it's going to be 3.5 squared, right? Let's bring out our calculators. 3.5 squared is equal to 12.25. Okay, so that is f of x sub 2 is equal to 12.25. What is f of x sub 4, right? Again, we need to know what is x sub 4, because we just want to replace what that is. X sub 4 we know is 5.0. Yep. And again, our function, remember, is f of x is equal to x squared. So that means wherever we see x, we're going to replace it and make it x squared. So instead of x, we have 5. So now we have 5 squared. We know 5 times 5 is 25. And I can even add a 0.0 if I want. But I don't have to. I can just leave it as 25. Okay? So that is f of x sub 2 and f of x sub 4. And that's going to end CPM Precalculus Chapter 2, number 87.